Madam Reds eh.
I'm glad you loved
It
it.
was really good, huh? The
I'm glad you loved
For
it.
those watching, you should try it if you can.
Yeah.
Caramel.
They're not available here though.
But yung cafe latte.
Go to Australia.
You'd have to go to Australia for that.
Or call a relative or a friend to bring it in.
Okay. But thank you once again. And thank you to the
You're very
ladies
welcome.
of The Big Story. Great show as always. Thank you again to Gretchen, to Sean, and to Regina. On the show tonight, we've got the latest scores from the NBA plus an update on Kai Soto from Gilas Pilipinas head coach Tim Cone.
And we tell you about EJ Obiena's podium finish in his first competition since August last year.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Pauline Verzosa, sitting in for Ches Calitan Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy leaves it. Mr. Moves puts it on. Unbelievable. Gemma on the left side. Oh, the pass! Stuck in another one. Bacunas rejecting Esteban for the
Well, probably not even 52 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could save the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Golden State Warriors. The Dubs unleashed a balanced attack to recover from an early deficit and get the victory, 116 to 109. Golden State woke up after Shai alone outscored them in the first quarter, 21-20. SGA's 52-point total today is just two shy of his previous career high, 54 points, which he scored against the Utah Jazz last week. Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry combined for 48 points for the Dubs, including 10 three-pointers. The duo came up clutch as well, hitting huge triples in the last 2 minutes to keep OKC at bay. The Warriors are currently peaking into the West Play-In tournament. They're 11th in the conference with 24 wins and 23 losses. The Thunder remain on top of the West with 37 victories and 9 defeats. After the game, Curry shared his thoughts on Golden State's statement win and his team's current makeup.
I mean, it was important. Obviously, for two reasons. The competition you're playing, the team that's at the top of the conference, and just for us to be able to put two games together in a row. We need positive vibes around here, and we need wins, and it was a lot of contributions across the floor. It's funny because, I mean, we're still in that kind of position where every night you don't know who the combination that's going to work, but as long as everybody's committed to it, playing with high energy, doing, starring in your role, you hope that you get rewarded for that, and it was definitely a night like that tonight. Like I said, we haven't had a good run with everybody in that rotation. Like, we played 11 guys tonight, and you still don't have Draymond, J.K., Trace has been playing well at the 5, and we make a rotation change he hadn't played. So every man has to be ready. It's just, again, the nature of the team we have right now.
Meantime, the Cleveland Cavaliers are looking more like the team that started the season 15-0 with their masterful takedown of the Miami Heat. The Cavs were never in trouble and eventually claimed the wire-to-wire win, 126-106. Donovan Mitchell scored a game-high 34 points. This is Mitchell's fifth 30-point game in Cleveland's last 7 outings and his 14th for the season. Now he switched to a higher gear with the Cavs resting their star point guard Darius Garland. Big man Evan Mobley added a double-double in the victory, 22 points and 15 rebounds. Cleveland is now undefeated in 33 games when leading after 3 quarters. The Cavs, meanwhile, are now 38-9 for the season, which is still the best record in the East. The Heat, meantime, are hanging on to 7th place with 23 victories and as many defeats. At the post-game press conference, Cavs head coach Kenny Atkinson and Mitchell himself spoke about Spida's big game.
We talk about all the other stuff, and that was probably the story of the game. Him sensing the moment. I loved how he got downhill today, right? I know everyone's going to talk about his hezzy pull-up threes and all that, but I felt like he got downhill, got to the rim. He's got that over-the-top floater that works. And then he made some great pass that cut to George. The pass that George cutting from the corner. Just elite, all-star performance by him.
Just be steady, you know what I mean? I think we always look at scoring as like the main thing, but I think just be steady, be a winner on the floor, whether it's getting guys involved, getting into actions, defensively being there, getting on the boards, assists, whatever it may be, steals. That's my biggest thing. Just be steady. I think, in past years, it's kind of been like score. I think now you as we've seen, it doesn't have to be that. Just play team basketball, find a way to, insert yourself and kind of like a plug and play when it comes to scoring, and just continue to be aggressive. That's my job.
Meanwhile, make it 5 straight wins now for the New York Knicks as they slowed down reigning MVP Nikola Jokic to ultimately beat the Denver Nuggets. The Knicks delighted the home crowd at the Madison Square Garden with an impressive 112-122 victory. That man right there is just a bad man. Jalen Brunson, definitely the star of the show as he notched 30 points and dished out 15 assists. This is his 11th 30-point and 10-assist game. And it puts him in a tie with New York legend Rasheed Warren for the franchise record. 5 other Knicks scored at least 11 points. As for the Joker, well, he got into early foul trouble and missed majority of the first half. The Serbian superstar didn't reach double digits in any statistical category until the final quarter. It was Jamal Murray, though, who came up big for the Nuggets as he finished with 33 markers in a losing effort. The Knicks continue to rise with 32 wins and 16 losses, now just a game behind the East's number 2 seed, the Boston Celtics. The Nugs still hold the 4th spot in the West with 28 victories and 19 setbacks. In a post-game interview, Brunson talked about how playing as a team affected his productive night.
I don't know. It was all a blur, but at the same time, we knew that they weren't going to give up. They were going to keep fighting, so we just kept the foot on the gas, and even when they went up, we just kept our poise.
I mentioned the bench. Miles was part of 6 players in double figures. How cohesive is this group right now in your mind?
We're in a good spot. We're in a spot where we're playing well, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and I just love where we're at.
Congrats on the win, Jalen.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Meanwhile, tempers flare in Texas as the Los Angeles Clippers get into an intense battle with the San Antonio Spurs. Ivica Zubac and Victor Wembanyama had a heated exchange in the third quarter after the Clippers' big man shoved the French star from behind. No technicals were called despite the push, and Wembanyama going after Zubac in retaliation. The Clippers ended up beating the Spurs 128-116 behind a 15-2 run with about 5.5 minutes left to play. The Clippers had a 4-man army that combined for a whopping 96 points. Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell scored 27 points apiece to lead all scorers. Zubac and James Harden each had 21 markers. The Croatian center also grabbed 22 rebounds, while the Beard dished out 11 assists. The Clippers are 6th in the West with a 27-20 win-loss slate, while the Spurs have lost 5 of their last 6 games and are now 12th in the conference with 20 victories and 24 defeats. After the game, Wemby expressed his frustrations over the officiating toward him.
Do you think you get a fair whistle most nights in terms of people being physical with you?
No. What do you do about that? Do you be more vocal with the refs, or is it, as Mitch suggested, maybe it's time to take matters into your own hands, which almost happened tonight?
So it's a hard thing, to fight because it feels unfair sometimes, but it's and of course we talk about it with the staff, and there is some stuff I have to do to help myself. First of all, being strong and not bailing out shots, but also yeah, also there is some work to do, like talking to the ref, of course, explaining myself. But it's you know, it's for me. It doesn't feel like it's something I should influence. You know, it's like I'm a basketball player. I'm here to play, and this is yeah, this is why it's frustrating. You know, it's not my job to do politics.
Well, 7 more teams hit the hardwood in the NBA tonight.
Here are the results. The Toronto Raptors make easy work of the miserable Washington Wizards, 106-82. Pascal Siakam stars for the Indiana Pacers with 37 points in their 133-119 victory over the Detroit Pistons. The Brooklyn Nets end their 7-game slump after blowing out the Charlotte Hornets 104-83.
Tyrese Maxey leading the charge for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they get their 4th straight win, and they notch a 117-104 dub over the Sacramento Kings. Kristaps Porzingis scores a season-high 34 points, and the defending champs, the Boston Celtics, overcome the Chicago Bulls 122-100. PJ Washington and Kyrie Irving both scored 25 points in the Dallas Mavericks 137-136 escape of the New Orleans Pelicans. And the Minnesota Timberwolves rally to beat the Phoenix Suns 121-113.
Now, a huge blow for the Atlanta Hawks as one of their standout players will be out for the rest of the season. The team announced today that forward Jalen Johnson will have surgery on a left shoulder injury. Johnson hurt his shoulder in the Hawks' 122-119 loss to the Toronto Raptors last week. Johnson is currently in his 4th season and had been enjoying a career year prior to the injury. He averaged career highs of 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, while also contributing 1.6 steals a game. Johnson had just signed a 5-year, $150 million extension before the current season. Without him, the rest of the Hawks will have to step up if they want to stay at least in play-in contention. Atlanta currently has a 22-25 win-loss slate for 9th place in the Eastern Conference. Now coming up, upset alert in volleyball. The Zeus Coffee Thunderbells put the brakes on the Cherry Tigo Crossovers to score back-to-back wins in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. That story and more when play-by-play returns. Keep it here on One News.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play only on One News. The Zeus Coffee Thunderbells claim their biggest win in franchise history yet. They stunned the Cherry Tigo Crossovers in the PVL All-Filipino Conference. The Thunderbells got the victory in 4 sets, 25-22, 25-22, 23-25, and 25-20. Team captain and setter Cloan Mondoñedo leading the way here with 17 excellent sets in the win. 5 players ended up scoring in double digits for Zeus Coffee. Jovelyn Gonzaga with 20 points, Chai Troncoso with 18, Thea Gagate with 13, Chini Arroyo with 12, and Mitch Gamit with 10 points. Zeus Coffee has won back-to-back games and now moves into a tie for 7th place with the Akari Chargers at 4-4. Cherry Tigo, meanwhile, slips to 5-4 this conference. After the match, Mondoñedo and Gamit spoke about the team's best campaign so far.
happy po kami na nagbubunga yung mga training namin araw-araw and may mga resulta yung mga games namin and hindi nasasayang yung pagod. Kahit may mga losses kami and mas okay yung performance namin compared sa mga past conference.
Well, kami kasi inisip namin talaga more on work lang eh. So, kung manalo man kami today, basta as long as may natututunan kami. Pero ngayon, sa game na to, I'm super proud and happy sa kinalabasan ng game at kasi it's a team effort.
Meantime, Rachel Ann Dakis finally makes her volleyball comeback and debut for the Farm Fresh Foxies. Queen Rad and Farm Fresh took on the Gallery's Tower High Risers. Dakis entered the Terraflex during the tail end of the first set, marking her return after 551 days. While her playing time was limited, her presence alone was enough to energize the young Farm Fresh squad. The Foxies went on to win in 4 sets, 28-26, 17-25, 25-19, and 25-17. Trisha Tubu led the way for Farm Fresh with a career-high 33 points on 28 attacks, 1 block, and 4 aces.
Meanwhile, sad news, Philippine volleyball has lost a legend. Decorated coach Sammy Akailar passed away earlier today. He was 66. Akailar had a cardiac arrest at 1:30 a.m. This comes just a few days after he suffered a stroke on Monday. Akailar had been confined at the Perpetual Help Medical Center in Las Piñas City. Coach Sammy was a pillar of Philippine volleyball, leaving a legacy that spanned decades. He led the University of Perpetual Help men's volleyball program to a record 14 NCAA championships and a 53-match win streak from 2010 to 2014. Coach Sammy also guided the Perpetual Help women's team to a three-peat from 2012 to 2014. Akailar was also part of the coaching staff that led the Philippine men's volleyball team to a Southeast Asian Games gold in 1993. He also served as the head coach of the national men's team in 2017. Akailar also coached several teams in the PVL, the UAAP, and the Philippine Superliga, including La Salle, University of the East, Santa Lucia, and Jerflor. He was also a founding coach of Signal's men's and women's volleyball teams. Well, the volleyball Philippine community immediately poured messages of condolences and remembrance for Coach Sammy Akailar.
And among them are players he guided in both the collegiate and club levels. Capital One middle blocker Des Clemente de Guzman thanked Coach Sammy for all the help he gave her since day one. The two were together during their Perpetual, Signal, and National Team Days. Meanwhile, veteran libero Jack Jonella also thanked Coach Sammy. Now, while they didn't meet in Perpetual, Akailar eventually coached Jonella during her first years in Signal. Alas Pilipinas and Signal setter EJ Casanya also expressed his gratitude for all the lessons Akailar taught him during their Perpetual Help days. The promising playmaker also thanked the veteran mentor for allowing him to be part of his championship roster.
Meanwhile, Savoj spiker Shoei Caritativo posted photos of Akailar with the Spin Doctors. His caption wrote, "Rest in peace, Coach Sammy Akailar." Meanwhile, the University of Perpetual Help System Dalta expressed its deepest condolences, remembering Akailar as the heart and soul of the Alta's men's volleyball program. The school says Akailar was a mentor who inspired countless athletes, both on and off the court. The Signal HD Spikers also paid tribute to Coach Sammy, honoring his impact as a mentor who helped shape both their men's and women's teams. In their message, they described his kindness and unwavering dedication, saying his legacy will continue to inspire Team Awesome and the entire volleyball community. Well, our condolences to the family and loved ones of Coach Sammy Akailar. You know this personally. Cal, also our EP, knows this. And even mga colleagues ko before sa NCAs, Anton, he was such a jolly person. He was such a strict coach. His players would tell you that. But talagang he got results out of his players. He produced a lot of MVPs. I'm sure even Louis Ramirez, who's now flourishing, would say na laki na itulong ni Coach Sammy. He's just a pillar, a legend. And big loss to the volleyball
For sure,
community.
his legacy will live on, as you mentioned earlier, 14 titles in the NCAA for University of Perpetual Help, or the men's team. But more than that, of course, you said, Andre, you know, touching the lives of the players and just leaving that impact. So with that, we really send our heartfelt condolences to Coach Sammy's family and, of course, all his loved ones as well.
Well, I'm sure he's now, of course, resting, rest in peace again to Coach Sammy. Lagi lang nagme-message yan, mabilis lang. Lagi lang kasing nagme-message yan. Thank you so much, my favorite, ayan o, Andre Felix, God bless. I'm watching, praying for our team to win. Nagpapa-shoutout. So, Coach Sammy, this one's, syempre, I'm sure all the players are offering for you. So, our moment of silence for you as well. And play-by-play, we'll be right back. Stay tuned, only here to One News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Play-by-Play here on One News. Now, it's official. Gilas Pilipinas center Kai Soto will be out of the FIBA Asia Cup in Saudi Arabia later this year. National team head coach Tim Cohn confirmed this on the sidelines of Barangay Ginebra San Miguel's victory against the Meralco Bolts last night. Cohn says the 7'2" big man is scheduled to have surgery on his torn ACL this week. After the operation, Soto will need up to a year to recover. Soto hurt his knee in the Japan B-League earlier this month. Kai has been huge for Gilas in the Asia Cup qualifiers, averaging 15.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks in 4 games. Now, Cohn will now have to look for a way to fill Kaiju's production for the team, with the FIBA Asia Cup tipping off in August this year.
Sometime this week, probably, he might have the surgery. And then from there, we count the months, minimum 9, probably 12. A guy that's 7'2" usually takes longer, so we're thinking maybe a year. He'll be out for maybe a year. But he's young, 22. If you're going to have it, now's the time. You know, at that age, he can easily recover from that. And it's almost cruel to say it, but this has always been the philosophy. I think a coaching philosophy. You feel bad about injuries for 10 minutes, then you move on, because there's nothing you can do about it. Kai's the key to coconut. What hurts most is the fact that it's held back his NBA injury, and it looked like he was getting some real solid feelers from the NBA right up until he got injured. So Sion, that's too bad.
Well, moving on to the PBA, tomorrow is the last game day of the Commissioner's Cup elimination round. The Meralco Bulls and the Magnolia Hotshots face off at 5 in the afternoon. The Hotshots must win this game to stave off elimination, while the game is basically no bearing for the Bolts since they are locked at the 5th spot no matter the result. Then at 7:30 p.m., the TNT Tropang Giga and the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters go head-to-head in an all-important match as well. The E-Painters have to win to secure the 6th spot. If they lose, they will end up in a triple tie with Magnolia and NLEX, and the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters will have to play a knockout duel with the Hotshots for the 8th seed. As for the Tropang Giga, they need a win to secure the last twice-to-beat edge in the quarterfinals. Catch the crucial games at the Phil Sports Arena in Pasig, but you can also watch them on PBA Rush, RPTV, and the Pilipinas Live app.
Okay, NBA fans, we got a treat for you on this Thursday night. All NBA plays in tonight's highlight reel. Let's start off, Bowie, with my boy, Tyrese Halliburton, Pistons Pacers here. Take a look at this move. It's not the dance, but whoa! An alley to himself, to the backboard, and then the lift. And look at his teammates, the indie bench. Delighted on that play. What a play. Smart play from Hallie. He finished with 30 points, 8 assists as the Pacers beat the Pistons 133-119. Sayang, di napakita yung miss. Ganun siya. Okay, up next, Phoenix versus Minnesota. In Phoenix, stolen away by Beal. Ahead to Booker. Pass too strong. The save by D-Book. Good save. Grayson Allen has it. Take a look at Book running to the corner. KD spots his teammate. And then the hook, Ala Kareem. Abdul-Jabbar, the sky hook for D-Book. What a move there for Devin Booker. Take a look at that. Not a lot of young players doing that move anymore, but D-Book paying tribute. What a move there. 28 points for Book, 8 assists, but the Suns though fall to Ant-Man and the T-Wolves 121-113. Okay, roll the next play. The Wiz against the Raps is Kuzmania in Washington, D.C. Parang horse lang behind the backboard for those kids now. Look up Larry Bird back in the 80s. He did that too, behind the backboard. He felt he was fouled and then just throws it one up and in. But that's not it. Just one play. And then Kuz over to Poole. And then running is Kuz again. Gets the ball and then the slam. Woo! What a poster there by Kuz. Disrespectful slam, and look at the bench of the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma. There are talks. The Lakers might get him back again. Let's see. What a play, though, in D.C. for Kuz. He finished with 19 points, 10 boards. But unfortunately, Wizards struggling this season, losing this one to the Raptors 106-82. Okay, here's another 2-for-1 for you. This time from the Pelicans-Mavs game. Okay, here we go. Zion ahead, McCollum. Trey Murphy, the third. Eye in the sky play. Just throw it up there, and Murphy's got it. And then, next play, Washington misses. McCollum again! Woo! Encore! And look at that, and look at the bench. Loving it. Jose Alvarado and company. 2 plays. Murphy having a game here. Team high 32 points, while those were 2 of McCollum's 8 assists. But unfortunately, sadly, right, ang ganda ng mga plays, it wasn't enough as New Orleans still falls to Dallas 137-136. And finally, Warriors versus Thunder here. Schroeder. Okay, surveying. Time winding down to 4th, and then the drive, and then GP! Baseline, and then the lefty over Hartenstein. And then hitting your head there. And look at the bench. Look at Draymond loving it. What a troll. Not kidding. But look at Draymond loving that play from GP2. And the whole bench going crazy. Nice pass, though, by Schroeder. Last-minute dish. And, of course, Golden State beating OKC 116-109. And GP2 had 15 points, 9 rebounds. Schroeder, meanwhile, had 9 markers and 7 assists.
Well, we are nearing the finish line, but before we go, we just want to say congratulations to EJ Obiena. He's now back in action, kicking off his indoor pole vault season with a silver medal. Obiena cleared 5.65 meters to finish second in the international jump meeting in Cottbus in Germany. American Sam Kendricks ended up winning the meet. This is Obiena's first competition since cutting his 2024 season short in August due to a back injury. With a strong start to his return, all eyes are on the Filipino pole vaulter as he builds up to bigger competitions ahead.
Proud, always proud of Ernest John. Always proud of Mr. Obiena.
Of course, nice to see him back in action as well.
I always love it. Lalo na si Obiena, di ba, 2 Olympics na dapat magpo-podium. A lot of aspirations and expectations and hopes. Sana sa LA 2028, and we hope to be there when he does that and gets a medal, hopefully.
Okay,
si Obiena. Manifesting. That's all from us tonight. You can catch us again tomorrow at 9 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News at Signal TV, Channel 8 on SD, and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Pauline Verzosa, sitting in for Ches Kalitan Calao. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.